Everyone's in? Yes.
Cool. Noise. Jesus.
She's the gibbering Mallory.
Yes.
Gibbering Mallor.
It's from D&D. It's a monster.
Gotcha.
It's an aberration. One of my favorites.
Gotcha, mate.
It looks like a bowl of spaghetti. They spray out.
It's a lot
Bowl
cooler
of
than a bowl of
spaghetti.
spaghetti. It's a lot cooler than a bowl of spaghetti.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Has some mouths on it.
That's awesome.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Cruisin The Planet. I'm your host Ethan Miller. I forgot the thing again. Here we go. I'm your host Ethan Miller. This week we are joined by so many people. So many people this time. We've got
Taylor.
Hi, I'm Jake.
And Cole again.
Taylor is the new one. If for old listeners or anyone who's been listening for an extended period of time, you're finally allowed back in the building.
I know. It's great.
Yep.
How does it feel to be
great.
outside among the people?
That's pretty good. I was going kind of stir crazy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it was nice for a while, like doing work in my PJs, but
Mhm.
I gotta put on pants now, but whatever.
No. You get to put on pants.
It's
Oh, I
not
get-
like
get
the
the
radio.
privilege.
It's not like the radio
Yes.
station has that strict of a dress code.
Well,
No, yeah,
I
you
think
could.
y'all look at me different if I showed up in my sweatpants.
No,
Like,
I've-
something happened to that girl.
I've come to work in pajama pants,
Nice.
and I was sent home because of it, though.
Oh, see.
Like here?
Yeah,
When did this happen?
Jake was there.
I want
yeah.
to-
Like you're not supposed to wear like sweatpants or like basketball shorts.
Mm.
Yeah. So
There is a minor dress code,
Nice.
but if you never get caught,
Just
You-
stay under your
I
desk.
just wear
all
my
day.
sweatpants under my normal pants. I'm just kidding. That would be so.
Well, I mean
bad.
that would. There's no point.
Yeah.
There'd be no point. It'd just be like another pair of underwear.
Shayla, you could do the joggers thing.
That's true.
Joggers could be cute.
Start like
Yeah.
the female joggers
Yeah,
trend.
yeah.
Get some in like a dark
Yeah.
green, some blues.
Yeah. I tried out some leggings yesterday. No one said anything, so I think that's as far as I'm gonna go.
Got you. These aren't my notes. These are my notes. So, first off, top of the episode, real fast, we did an Instagram poll
Yeah.
this week. That was Wednesday?
Yeah,
Right.
Wednesday.
We did it Wednesday. We got all the information back. If you want to be part of next week's poll, we're going to put up something kind of similar. It was basically deciding one of the topics that we were going to talk about on this episode. And the one that won out by one vote, right? It was 12 to 11?
Yes. By one vote.
Is dining hall during COVID. So, a lot of people are...
No. That was second place.
I've messed it up already.
It
me
was
change it.
It was between dining hall versus class hours.
Class hours.
Class hours won by a point,
Okay.
and that was like just this afternoon.
Well, now my notes are. It's fine. I can talk about registration. If you want to make dining hall win next week, then
Yes,
go
we'll put it back
follow
on
us
there.
at the Planet 100.7
Yes.
on Instagram. It'll be on one of our stories either next Tuesday or Wednesday. Keep an eye out over there, and then we will be probably throwing something out on our Twitter that's in the same vein for our other segment later on today. So, has everyone registered for classes?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Was anyone having trouble figuring out how they were doing their online offline thing?
I have not received any word from my profs.
All I know is
Oh.
one
In
of my
regards to that.
classes is just online only,
Mm-hmm.
not giving us the option.
Really?
So, one of those classes will be just online.
Taylor?
Most of mine are face to face. So I mean, I've talked to the professors and they have a plan. Like if we had to go online, then those classes would turn online. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right, Jake?
Yeah.
The mask.
Okay.
I have a mustache under this thing.
I
I need to trim it.
It looked like you were very uncomfortable. I was worried about you.
I have a mustache under this thing.
Got it.
If sometimes the mask it pushes up and the little whiskers they go into the nose.
Oh, no.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
course.
same.
I
Totally.
We don't know. And we
Kidding.
never will. Masks will be on people for years to come.
This is true. You
Well-
could have a mustache and never know.
Yeah. I actually low-key like took the mask off when I got back to my apartment and to like, you know, be in my safe and enclosed little bubble of a room,
Mm-hmm.
and straight up was like, oh,
Facial hair.
I forgot that I have this because I'm
Right.
used to wearing like longer masks that cover everything.
Hmm.
Yeah, with registration, I had noticed there was two things that you could have on your information. You were either shown 100% in class, 100% online for the registration of classes, and then to be determined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I was curious if anyone had gotten something where they had signed up specifically for online and been flipped on them.
No. I haven't received anything like that, but I'm sure that you can talk to profs about that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, every professor at Tarleton that I know of has gone through, I think it's called HighFlex or HypeFlex or something, that training, and that's what the new model is, which is you attend face-to-face, you have your students attend face-to-face, you have them attend online at the same time, or online at a different time for the like a Zoom class, and then you have fully online. So all profs are like aware of that and have been trained in it, and supposedly you can talk to them about like what your health is like and what you are kind of looking for.
And comfortable with on your
Yeah.
options.
And I mean, in time frames for classes is just, I believe I read something in an email somewhere that said classes
So this
are
is
supposed
good
to be-
data.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. I did read it in an email, and it was from Tarleton. Quotes. No, seriously. Said something about classes being let out a few minutes early to assist in the going to and from.
Speaking of
cleaning.
that, we are starting early, which wasn't even like in my knowledge that we were starting early, just because I was so worried
Everything
about
else.
getting back to college
Yeah.
whenever it was the first day of classes. August 20th, put it down in your calendar. That's why move-in was probably a little bit weird and felt out of place for those who have begun. Yeah, we are all experiencing a bit of early classes, and I assume that's because they have that cut time, so they wanted to get an extra week of syllabus in. However, I want to throw the question out to y'all real fast. Do we think professors are going to actually take advantage of this time?
I doubt it.
I don't know. I mean, it is early, but I don't know. We're starting in the middle of the week. Not even the middle of the week. Technically, the back.
Yeah, it's like
back
a
end of the
Thursday,
week.
right?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
I'm not sure profs are really going to take much advantage of that.
I literally have one class that day.
Yeah.
I think I have a lab too, but labs don't start till second week.
Yeah, second week.
So does that rule still count though? Because we have like a literal Thursday and Friday
I don't know.
of things.
I don't know. Classes
I
are
have
gonna be
no
so
idea.
weird. I don't think profs are gonna like really. I think they're gonna still be on the back end of, oh my gosh, what happened last semester. I think there's probably still gonna be in a whirlwind from the summer too, because of course people have summer classes that they had to prepare for, and now they're having to technically prepare for basically 4 different options for students. First face-to-face, second Zoom class, like hybrid sort of
Mhm.
situation at the same time. Then second one is make sure they're recorded so people can watch it if they're not having it at the same time.
Yeah.
And then also some students are completely online. So they have 4 different things they're going to have to worry about.
Well, we
I-
say 4 different things, but on the production side of things, the professors have all of their notes and testing for a previous mixed curriculum anyways. Any professor that's used Canvas or Blackboard
Yeah, but
has a lot of that online resource.
but some profs don't, even though they're supposed to.
That's true. So it's just Russian roulette for us students is what
Pretty much.
I'm hearing.
I'm gonna say
What'd you have, Jake?
that I really hope after this whole COVID nonsense is taken care of and done with, we still do recorded classes. Because we're not in high school anymore. Why are we so caught up with like attendance? Like we already got that discipline kind of thrusted upon us, and we're going to get it thrusted upon when we get a job, but at least we're getting paid then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, students are either paying for college, going to pay for it with, you know, student debt, or have someone else paying for it, be it the government or their parents or whatever. Why are we worrying about attendance in college?
I think it has to do with the correlation between people going to class, people passing the class, and people eventually graduating. That's like we talked about last episode, I think, or last show, that colleges are a business, whether they're non-for-profit or for-profit.
That was a couple episodes ago.
And what you're really looking at is what the percentage of students graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So you get more students, so students will
And that's
come.
that also defines some other things like grants and the whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So
Which is
What does that have to
money.
do with attendance, though?
There are
Because-
it's same reason they have us stay on campus the first 2 years. They
Yes.
always like to tell us, we have found, we have done studies, we have performed science, and these are backed by legitimate numbers to some degree. They're
Stats.
whoever, if you go to class every day, every class period, you end up absorbing more of that sort of secondary information and processing it a bit longer, and you end up in the long run getting more people to graduate.
getting more people to pass
And
the class.
that is the college's goal, is to get a lot of people to pass the class, get a lot of people to move through their program, that in return rotates good numbers, becomes investable, becomes a college's
Return on investment.
return on investment, because it's like, hey, 50% of the people who show up to class just basically get the A. Why wouldn't you want to come here? Things of that, things that high school students are looking for.
I mean, and if you look at just from a marketing standpoint, personal selling, which is not going to go into all that. I took a marketing class, multiple. Oh, yeah. But if you look at it from that standpoint, personal selling and face-to-face communication always wins out in getting purchases and getting continued rebuys and continued clients. So it makes sense that you would see a relation between students coming to class, getting the face-to-face interaction with a professor, and then eventually staying with the class, not dropping, and continuing on through the university.
I also, however, off the side of all that science, see the realism that Jake is pushing here of, like, we are literally all adults.
Yeah. Like,
for sure.
It's not only that we're all adults, it's the fact that, the whole point of, an attendance system is to, push the, to build the structure of, you need to be on time. You need to be punctual, and when you're at a job, if you're not on time, it's you're going to get fired. Here's the thing, though. We were already taught this in school, in primary K through 12 school. Something we've been kind of drilled into our head for years. Not only that, but we're, like Ethan said, adults. We have jobs. A lot of us have to pay for college by working. So we already have that real world experience through the attendance. Why are we forcing students to do that? Maybe some of them work better with a more lax schedule. And maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's...
The ghost returns.
That is I'm of the belief that I think that unless we're getting paid for college, that we shouldn't be put to that expectation. Because in primary school, it's understandable because we're young, we're children, we don't necessarily understand that principle, and that's something we need to build off of. But currently, we are adults, and we are paying for our education. So maybe let us educate ourselves in a way that better fits us. If I'm late one day, maybe it's for a good reason, and maybe like
Yeah.
someone, me or whoever, shouldn't get a knock on a grade
Yeah.
because of that.
I think I get what you're getting at is attendance being part of the grade and
Yeah.
the curriculum.
Because it's like my whole point is that you attend a class to gain the information from said class. You know, if you attach a recording kind of apparatus and record it online so you can review the class, that makes it a lot easier for students. Mind you, a lot of professors don't want to do that because it's a lot more work on their end.
Well, they have to now.
They do have
Yeah.
to now, and I'm hoping that that stays, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because, yeah. So, that's my opinion. That's my
Yeah.
2 cents on it.
Thank you.
I mean, I think attendance, like, you're right. We shouldn't have it so focused on attendance. There are people that need that structure that still, even if they are adults, don't understand the consequences of showing up late to work, for example.
I don't think
so
college
there
is the
are-
place where that should be, though. I think that
You don't think the college is a place to learn?
I don't think college is a place to learn that structure. If you haven't picked that up from like 12, 13 years of primary school and you haven't picked it up yet, you're not going to pick it up in college. You're going to pick that up in the real world when your boss fires you for coming in late.
So
It-
I think tying it all together, you guys were talking about like, you know, students who
Mhm.
attend class more
Yeah.
have a better success
Mhm.
rate. So, I mean, while you can kind of think about, oh, I mean, I'm how old? If I don't show up, I mean, that's kind of my decision. I'm paying for my classes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But as a university standpoint, I think both of these sides are very debatable because they want you to succeed and they know if you show up to class, you're more likely to.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have that incentive in your grades, like, oh, if you miss 3 times, you drop a letter grade or something like that, then you're thinking about, I mean, that's how some of my music
Yes.
classes
Yeah,
are.
it is
That's
like that.
ridiculous.
It is for sure like that.
I would literally fight that professor.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of them. But anyway.
I don't care.
I will-
I am more than one man.
I will say,
By
though,
giving you that kind of, I'm sorry, Jake.
Go
but
ahead.
by
No,
giving
go
you
ahead.
that kind of incentive, like to go as a consequence, I mean, it's also a psychological thing,
Mhm.
you know, where you're thinking, oh, do I really need to miss? Like, is it so important that I sleep through this class? And, you know, so you show up more. And by showing up, you retain more, do better grades, you
Right.
graduate. So it's like kind of the university trying to make you do better versus you thinking I would do better if this was different. It's,
Yeah.
I think majority where a lot of us will show up to class because that's what we've been taught and it's the right thing to do and you're paying
Mhm.
for it. But there are some people who have that structure and they get to college and they're like, ooh, I don't have to go. And then they don't go. And then they do bad and then they're gone. And then it makes the university look bad. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of a debatable topic.
Yeah,
But
I
they do
see
have
both sides
they
for
do
sure.
have your best interests at heart. That's why they're like that.
to me, I don't necessarily see it like that, and that's because I've talked with a couple of business professors, will not say their names, but they have told me, and the thing is the whole idea of like attendance being a required thing makes a lot more sense when you view university in this light, and it's a lot more cynical, not so like they are looking for the best interest of students light. It's that the university is a business, and you as the student are not the customer, you're the product. And the customer is the companies that will hire someone, want someone who is either educated or resilient enough to get through the college experience, which is not easy. And that is, looking at it through that lens, it makes a lot more sense to me why they would want students to always pass. And they're trying to force students to go through passing, even if it's ultimately a, students are the ones who are paying for their education. So,
And going back on kind of what I said, because I suppose argued the attendance, like the need for it, but there's also situations like people who do have to work a lot, like work at least 2 jobs, or even people with disabilities who physically can't be in the classroom. There is a place for an online session, and I'm glad we're able to finally see what we can fully accomplish with that sort of thing this semester.
Yes.
For sure.
Random fun fact.
Go ahead.
The average tuition cost of these universities, they did a study on it. And on average, you pay about $1 a minute to be in class.
Wow.
Don't skip class. Yeah.
Nah, skip class. That's dumb.
I mean, $1 a minute. Some of these
Skip
are
class
long.
if you need to. Like, skip class
Good
if you
thing I
don't
rub-
need to attend.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
why I rub
'cause
mercury on all my dollars.
I know,
yes.
I know people who have passed classes who didn't attend a day simply because they already knew the material.
Mm.
well,
I
then
mean-
you shouldn't take that class.
Well, sometimes
Right?
you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
like,
a lot of times
You
where
can
you
test
just
out of
have to
stuff.
take a class.
You could test out.
Not
if you
all,
really
not
want.
all the
Whether
time.
whether you were attending online, virtually, or in person, it is a good opportunity to use the resource of a professor and attend class.
Yes.
But there are multiple ways now to attend
This
class.
is true. I think the online thing's going to be good for everybody.
Yeah, it's
So.
definitely going to work with some people, and then we have other people, like myself for sure, that enjoy the face-to-face more and definitely get a little more out of face-to-face.
When I say all this stuff, I'm definitely the type of person who prefers face to face. I
Mhm.
need that like structure. I need that like physical. I go to class or else I'm not gonna do well.
Right.
I'm specifically talking about the people,
people who don't.
who do not function in that mindset, but they're forced to because their professor forces them to.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone thinks differently, and trying to, in my opinion, trying to pigeonhole certain people to work and think in a way that is very particular and specific to the demands of the professor,
Mhm.
I think is I think that is something that works best in high school whenever you're trying to teach like kids K through 12 structure
Mhm.
and how to work outside of your comfort zone. But then again, we aren't paying for public school. I mean, we are technically through taxes, but it's still, we're not the ones who, like, as kids who are paying for it. So it's there's more of a reason for them to kind of force us to have a specific type of education. When we get to college, it's not like we're paying for it, so we should have maybe a bit of a say on how
How we're
we
educated.
should be educated. Yes, because
Makes sense.
like I said, some people just think differently.
Speaking
true.
of like getting involved and a bit of a say on how the classes, professors, and organizations are affecting our education,
Mm-hmm.
I've put together a game.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all can't look at my screen.
I'm not looking
Okay.
at your
I'm
screen.
literally right in
Alright.
front
I
of
can
your
see
screen,
it.
Ethan.
Then close your eyes.
Okay, I'll look this direction and they can watch the back of my head.
we're on rate my. I can't show it to the audience because I don't actually. I think I can. Give me a second. Hello, audience. It's just you and me, and Cole will block her out. It's just you and me. We're on rate my professor. In light of like how dangerous it could be to just sort of blast somebody online, because like you probably don't want to be a part of Tarleton staff and hear everyone actually making fun of you, the person.
Yeah.
And you can go look up how your students rated you in your off time. I figured we would look at how everyone anonymously rated Tarleton State University.
As a whole.
Oh, as
You
a
can
As
whole?
a
do
whole.
that?
Interesting.
Oh.
You
Okay.
can do that.
I'm gonna
So
leave a
I'm going to
review.
read the review.
Okay.
I'm going to say how many people found that useful or not useful. And then y'all try and guess how many fours. It's out of 5. How many 1s, 3s, 4s, and
What
5s.
it's rated.
Yeah, figure out what it's rated. But it's a little bit more intricate than that.
All right.
Because there are
Uh.
10 categories you can rate them.
Okay.
Okay, so we're guessing the rate for each category.
It's easier than that. Let's just say like 5 5s, 4 4s. Like try and give a guess to how many numbers were 1 to 5.
All right.
That way we can go through this a little bit faster.
Is there like an average, like a total
No,
group?
They don't. They didn't create averages on this. I can tell you the average for our university if you'd like.
Sure.
3.8.
Wow.
It's higher than I thought it'd be.
That was lower than I thought.
So
Most
we got.
people make reviews when they're like, "Oh, this professor sucks."
Well-
and,
Or the opposite.
most of the time, you
I
either
like
were
to
like
think-
crazy impacted or hate the person.
I don't think that's it. What at all? I
Really?
think you were crazy impacted in a negative way, or you were a bootlicker.
Ah,
Oof.
interesting. Interesting.
That's only because the types of people who I've been friends with before who like were getting the A's and the 110 averages in high school would go on to rate my professor, because we all hung out like the first freshman year because we had no other friends. And I had a similar group who were on the bottom end, and like Horseshoe Theory, they're the same person. They both just have really strong ideas and they want to tell people their opinions. So I'm gonna do the one that I found to be the most thematically jarring
Okay.
first. So let's start on a positive. Best kept secret in Texas. This is the review. Best kept secret in Texas. This little town grows on you. Staff is helpful and kind. The traditions here are one of a kind.
Aw.
What do we think how many 5s do we think they got?
I bet you like almost all of them.
All right.
I'm gonna say all but one. It'll be a 4.
3. I don't know.
3 5s is correct.
What? I swear it didn't look,
Nice.
y'all.
Any other numbers that we want to try and guess on this?
I don't
Wait,
know.
I didn't really
wait,
create
I
a
don't understand.
So there's 10. Here's the deal. There's 10.
Okay.
I'll just read the scores off. So we have a 5 in reputation, internet, and facilities. We have a 4 in happiness, safety, opportunity, social, food, location, and we have a 3 in clubs.
So how many numbers do we have to guess?
10.
Okay.
That's complicated.
Now I figured it would be easier to just try and guess like like how many they got of the. Y'all know what the mode of something is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's the most numbers.
most.
Let's
Yeah.
just try and do that.
Okay. Yes.
I explained it poorly at the beginning because I
understand.
was so
Okay.
excited to like
Mode. So just like
We
you.
needed a
Guess
warm-up.
the mode.
yeah, the
That was
mode
our
being
warm-up.
like
Okay.
this one it would have been 4.
Yeah.
So like
most
overall they gave
4s.
them 4s.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next
do that.
one
I get
this
this.
next one is kind of the opposite. Here we go. 55% dropout and students are here to party or relax. Hardly
Oh
any
my God.
diversity or organizations.
Yeah.
Town is super small and parking is awful.
Amen. The
The
parking's
school
bad.
forces
Yeah.
The school forces you to pay for awful dining hall food, and profs are a hit or a miss. Virtually no one outside of Texas has heard of this place, and if you are not ag, pre-med, or vet, then this really is not the place to go.
Wow.
2 people found that useful.
Entitled.
How? All right.
I'm sorry.
How many?
I agree with a lot of that, honestly.
What do we think was the mode number? 1 out of 5.
3.
2.
I'm gonna say
2?
with 2.
It was 1.
Whoa.
I'm not
So-
surprised.
The score is 1 for reputation, 1 for internet, 2 for facilities, 2 for happiness, 2 for clubs. 1 for location, 1 for food, 1 for social, 2 for opportunities, and 3 for safety.
Wait, 3 for safety? That would not have been the one I would have put
Yeah.
3 for. No offense, Tarleton.
It's okay.
Do we want a
but-
good one or a bad one next?
Ooh.
I'm fine with either, honestly.
A good one? All
Yeah.
right. This one gives you like no information, but let's go ahead.
Okay.
The most incredible institution, faculty, staff, and community. What are we thinking?
4, because I only talked about staff and community. There's a lot of topics.
I'm
in
actually
there.
gonna say 3 on this one.
I'm going to go with Taylor and say 4.
5.
Oh.
It only had a 4 in clubs and location. The rest were 5s.
Okay, so why is everyone like there are no clubs?
It's funny. It almost seems like all these positive reviews are really short and don't go into detail about it. It's almost like they were written by professors.
Wow.
Do we want something with a lot of mix in it?
Yeah.
We have two.
Yes.
Our
Yeah.
I
next
want
two,
I want something that's a little bit more like nuanced.
our next
Give us
two
a
have a bit
challenge.
more meat on these bones.
Mm.
So, up next. I love this school and all of its traditions. I feel so at home, and professors in the College of Agriculture are super personable. There are plenty of opportunities for growth as long as you're willing to look.
Oh.
4.
4.
Cole?
5.
3.
Oh.
Really?
We had
Maybe they weren't willing to look.
We had a 4 in We had a 4 in reputation, a 2 in internet, a 3 in facilities,
yeah.
a 5 in happiness, a 3 in
Happiness.
clubs, a 4 in location, a 1 in food,
Damn.
A
People really don't
3
like
in
Chick-fil-A.
social, a 5 in opportunities, and a 3 in safety.
Well, the thing is with Chick-fil-A is you go to like any other town and there'll be a Chick-fil-A there. When people
That's
are
kind of a staple, Taylor.
yeah,
Sorry.
whenever people are criticizing like food, they're criticizing the food that is provided by the school, not
dining
by
hall.
like another.
I
Because like
know.
we could also say like, oh, the McDonald's down the way, the Subway. That's all kind of in that same specter, you know. Remove the Chick-fil-A element.
But
Yeah.
guys, if you would have had the food so I stayed on campus during quarantine.
Oh,
If
yeah.
y'all would have had the food that they made, it would not have been a 1. It would have been like a 4.
Really?
It was some good. There was some roasted
Really?
chicken. There was
See?
some
Yeah.
like
Yep.
it
Real
was
talk.
good.
Real
Yep.
talk. The meat that is served on campus is always good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the They do roasted chicken all the time.
Do you remember
They do
Thanksgiving?
brisket. It's not even for events. They'll do brisket.
Woo.
They'll do like quality hamburgers
Mm-hmm.
I
all
think
over the place.
I think it's because they
The
only had
sandwich
one.
bar is
Stir-fry?
always the sandwich bar is always good.
Ugh.
Everyone knows about the stir fry
It's
though.
Yeah.
good
Like
though.
to be completely on. And you know what?
Yum.
We're probably
The
doing dining hall
waffles in
next
the
week
shape of
based on the
Texas.
poll. We're probably doing dining
I
hall next
think-
week on poll.
I
Let's
think it's
finish
just
this up.
because of how many options there are that it makes
I
it bad.
I stopped going to dining
It's
hall
too
a long time
expensive.
ago.
So when
Like
I
I
was
Can't afford it.
when I was
I
on
even can't
camp-
afford it. It's like,
I can't afford it.
well, you can't afford it. It's not that I can't afford it. It's a matter of I don't want to spend money on it all the time now that I live here.
Yeah.
You know, and even then, before I went, I was like, I could just go to McDonald's, get like a $5 breakfast sandwich, you know, before they took the breakfast off the menu.
Well, there is a
It's a
national.
beef for
vote.
later.
I'm aware. Doesn't mean I can't be unhappy about it.
Okay.
The point is that I had like there's a lot better, a lot cheaper options in town, in my opinion, than the dining hall.
Mm.
When I was on campus, I had a friend who lived down the hall from me who worked at the dining hall,
Mhm.
and they would have like a schedule of like whenever the tours and whatever were gonna come by.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the food was always really good those days because there's the tour. And like for the first week of tea week, if you happen to be here, it would be like chicken fried steak, and it was so good. So I took my planner and I like put an X on all the ones that there were events, and I would go to D Hall on those days.
Oh, smart.
It was great.
I always stay away from event foods because there's way too many people.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
hate standing in
They
line.
did little
for
to-go
food.
ones if you like didn't
Oh,
want to
that's
stay.
nice.
The one thing I did figure out, which like everyone looked at me like I was crazy when I did it, but you just get yourself a glass, you go fill it halfway with root beer, and then you go to the soft serve and
Yep.
just cram some vanilla ice cream
I
in it.
loved it.
Go find a spoon,
Mhm.
sit down. They're like, "Where are they serving those?" And I'm like, "They're not.
Mhm. They're exclusive.
I made it."
Oh,
I used
that's
to do
great.
that. That was so good.
And then you go to the cereal section if you wanted to really fuck it up.
Oh gosh.
Ooh, quality.
Hmm.
Do we want to continue with rating the college? I have another mixed one.
Yeah.
I'm fine if
Sure.
you guys are.
Let's go for
This
it.
one's a bit more on the downer.
okay.
Nice. I like those.
There
Fine.
are not enough clubs or fun events. The classes are mediocre. The campus does not have a loud or enthusiastic environment. It is dull, really. It is dull, really.
Okay.
There is not much diversity either. I am
Mm.
quite disappointed with this campus and school.
I gotta agree with the whole diversity thing, though, y'all.
All right.
It's
what do we
diverse compared to the rest of Stephenville, but that doesn't say too much.
Yeah.
what do we think it got the most of?
2.
2.
Yeah, I'll say 2.
So technically it's 1 and 3.
So 2.
So 2.
Split the difference.
We got I didn't realize cuz like they're color coded. If you have a 4 and a 5, it's green. Yellow is 2 and 3, and then 1s are red.
Oh.
I say that, but there's a red 4 in here. And that's what messed me up.
Oh.
I don't understand how the color codes work anymore. It just got broken. Basically, reputation's a 3, internet's a 3, facilities is a 2,
Mm.
happiness and clubs and location are the 1s, a 4 for food, a 2 for social, a 3 for opportunities, and a 4 for safety. But a red 4. I don't know how
4?
that works.
Probably just 4.
I don't know what I'd rate
I
our
don't
school
know.
overall.
I'm curious what it would be.
Do we want another positive one?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
School is good, period.
Nice.
Not bad, period. It's
bad.
relatively small, comma.
Ooh.
Quality of professors vary. Parking sucks most days.
All day.
And Wi-Fi is okay, and phone service depends on your provider. But you, capital will, parentheses, probably, dread dealing with every Tarleton office.
Ooh.
That's business, financial aid, etc.
Housing.
Oh,
I get it.
You gotta
Yeah.
go to housing when you think nobody else is at housing.
Honestly, I would say my
That's the
biggest
key.
like criticism of this school would be like
the people.
the facilities and like the bureaucracy of this place. I would say that's like my biggest gripe with it. I can't stand it here.
I
This is-
really enjoy
hold on,
like
y'all,
the
Why
gotta-
are you
crafts
y'all,
and
here
got,
stuff.
then?
y'all
What?
gotta let me finish this last sentence.
Oh,
Okay.
there's another sentence.
We
The
were all
people,
gonna say
however, are mostly nice. Of course, some are fake and terrible, but that's some.
I feel like
Like-
that one was actually written by a student.
Yeah,
I feel
like that was actually
legit.
A lot, like I would
mean,
say
I think
probably
all
a
of them
good
should.
majority of these were like, I mean, obviously the negative ones probably weren't written by like a professor, but
Mhm.
honestly, a lot of the ones that are positive, I get like, I don't really believe everything you're saying. I think you're a little too positive. I think you're either a professor, or you're a student, like a staff member got you.
I think you're underestimating how many Tarleton students like really enjoy Tarleton.
Yeah.
I guess.
Even
Like-
if they do hate the food or don't think there are enough organizations, there's still definitely a heart in students who chose Tarleton right off the bat.
Yeah.
I
Like
guess.
I'm
know-
a transfer, so I have some of that like love,
Mhm.
but my significant other chose this from get-go, like chose this over A&M
Mm.
and just loves it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are like hands down, like literally bleed purple.
Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
a
That's
fourth
there.
generation Tarleton student.
Yeah.
That's how I got here.
Second gen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Second gen in college.
Hey.
That's about it.
Mm.
Y'all want to guess the?
Oh. Yeah, we were guessing
Oh, we
that
were
one?
guessing that.
We just got to talking about it.
3.
2.
I'll go 4. I'll go 4.
It's 3.
3.
We had 1s in
Nice.
reputation and social. We had 2s in location. We had 3s in internet, facilities, food, opportunities, and safety. And we had 4 in happiness and clubs. No 5s. I feel like that's very real.
I do think Tarleton offers at least from what I've been able to experience, offers a lot of opportunities for students.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say that depends on the department. That's I think that like from my experience, I would say like the business department is really proactive in getting kids jobs. I would say other departments I think are very they don't really do much from what I've seen. I would
Well, I
definitely
know
say it's a
Comms
department.
is very good at it.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, I was a prem major in undergrad, and I mean, Dr. Winslow
Mm.
is pretty amazing at getting internships at crazy places
Yeah.
to be able to come in and like offer opportunities for students.
I know the station manager here, who may or may not be listening.
Probably
He
listening.
also gives great
has-
opportunities.
he's literally like sent me job opportunities, grant information,
Mhm.
like things. Even when I had planned on like moving out to Australia, that was supposed to be this year,
Oh.
and then obviously like Americans can't go anywhere now.
Yeah.
I was like
Who likes
legitimately
Americans
planning to
anymore?
take a year off in Australia to like save up even more money and such.
Mhm.
And he had sent me a bunch of stuff of like, if you want to do podcasting in Australia, here's a network,
Mhm.
here's all this stuff. And I was like, I told you that like literally 6-8 months ago,
Mhm.
and he still had it in mind. So like, I think if at minimum, everyone kind of knows everyone, and so everyone
Yeah.
kind of tries to be useful to some
I
degree.
know from Friends in
I
Wildlife,
really like this next one.
like
whenever
with
y'all are ready.
ag, like there are plenty of opportunities, as long as you dig into your department and really kind of talk to your profs.
Oh yeah. I love the music people. Like there was one professor who actually impacted me so much, that's why I'm switched over to music business.
Mhm.
And when
What
he
were you originally?
I started out music education
Mhm.
and then I was like on teaching, whereas I had some people in education that I knew and they were so passionate about it and I was
Yeah.
like I just didn't have that same drive.
Mhm.
So I went to performance, and then all of a sudden I found out that music business was a thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and then I took classes with this one professor, and he ended up having to leave Tarleton, but he's like what got me so interested and motivated and really altered like the course of my life because of how much he impacted me. And he had so much knowledge, and he was set, like he was a very like wealthy man, and he was set. He didn't have to teach. He wanted to teach though, and he said that like he wasn't, I don't think he had a doctorate, but he was just so experienced, and he's like, I just want to share my knowledge with students. And
I've
that's
seen
why
a couple of those before. I know for engineering it's the same. You have to have real world experience to teach the higher level stuff.
And whenever he had to leave, I went on Rate My Professor, and you know, Jake was saying maybe he thinks some people like professors go on and write, and I definitely rated him like all fives, but he very much deserved all fives. And
Gotcha, Jake.
So there are some, like, I think everybody's experience is different, and I think college is what you make of it. You make the best of it. If you have a group that you don't like, or you have a group that, you know, you wish you were a part of, or if you want to be more active, just look into it, because it's probably somewhere you just don't know. So
I think he was really nice to you so that you would get him on Rate My Professor.
no,
was
he
all-
was
Obviously,
genuinely
that's the
amazing.
end goal.
That's really good though.
I'm almost certain every professor wishes that website just didn't exist.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
I'm certain of
Like
it.
even like the good ones that have a good rating, like
You
It
never
doesn't. It
know.
doesn't help.
yeah, it's like you got to rate your professor to see like who is worth signing up for a class for. You
Yeah.
know,
I think that there's a
I've done
lot.
it.
I actually think there's a lot of students on here who are just here to vent.
yeah,
true.
no, that
Yeah.
is yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
like
for
good
sure.
or bad. They're just here to like tell people
Yeah.
how their experience
I don't
was.
really like use it
I
because
like this next one.
I don't really use like
It's like, let me share it.
As soon as y'all are ready.
all I'm gonna say is I don't really use Rate My Professor because I
never used
just
it.
I don't know. It's like I don't really see much of a point for me personally. I'll check it every once in a while, but like
Yeah.
it's I don't know if it's a situation where it's like, oh, I'm kind of stuck with this class and this is my only professor, like the only option I have for a professor due to time and due to like
Scheduling. or
yeah,
whatnot.
and it's like, well, I'm stuck with him, so why even like prepare myself for failure?
Yeah.
You know?
Why even worry about double checking when he's gonna be the way they are gonna be the way they are
Yeah.
day one?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ready for the next one?
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Sure.
Some look down on us as a school that one only attends if rejected from other colleges that they applied to. I was accepted to 4 others and chose this.
Preach.
This person's got something to prove. The college itself is great, but the town as a whole is a small town without much to do. If you want to join a club, Greek life is your best bet. The food here is good, but not a home-cooked meal. What are we feeling? Off of the previous
3
ones?
probably. I'm gonna go with 3.
3.
4.
I'm gonna go with 4.
It is 4.
Yeah.
We got 3s in reputation, clubs, and opportunities. We got a 5 in happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a 4 in everything else.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
I was accepted into Harvard. That was
what?
that was real fun writing a no thank you letter because I'm going to small Tarleton.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, like
You got him to
Harvard. You know, Harvard's like incredibly cheap too, right? Like so long as you get accepted.
Huh.
Yeah, like it's one of the cheapest
It didn't
schools.
seem too bad.
Yeah, no, it's one of the cheapest schools in America. It's just they have an incredibly like
It's hard.
high standard. Like you
I-
have to be
yeah.
like cream of the crop.
I only missed one question on my SAT,
Yeah.
so that's probably how it
Dang.
slipped in there.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
casually lift your glasses like that.
do the
Yeah.
anime glisten,
Yeah,
you know.
just missed one.
You gotta go.
But yeah, no, it's
I
it's,
retook it 3 times to get that.
It's
score,
probably
so-
Jeez.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's about as cheap as Tarleton. Like I don't know exactly. I just know that like if you're like impoverished and you're really putting an effort into your schooling and like Harvard takes notice, they'll do everything they can to get you. They don't care about like they don't care about status, they don't care about like anything really. Like other than like are you like really like are you like
Serious.
the upper echelon of intelligence? That's all they care about really.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's a bit of BS, though, to be completely honest. And that's only because growing up a lot, I had gotten a few letters from, like, the Mensa Club,
Yeah.
and those guys do nothing.
Well, that's because that's a club, you know? That's like a club of just people who are on the high IQ. They don't really do anything in general.
Yeah,
Like Harvard's a little different from Mensa.
that's true. It's just, like, holding someone to standards for, like, education based
Yeah.
on, like, a level of... I guess it's not a level of intelligence, though. It's, like, how much work you put into school,
Yeah.
This is true.
because that's how tests work, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't test how smart you are. They test how well you
You studied for it.
studied
basically.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's also different opportunities even in that are offered to some classes of people that aren't offered to other classes of people. Like lower income people will have less ability to get tutoring or less technological ability to continue studying
Yeah.
after class is over, you know?
Basically, Taylor, you're high class.
Yeah. No,
Well, it's
I
just
wish
something
I'm broke.
we should draw attention to and offer better
Hmm.
education.
Well, there's the Pale
My
Grant.
opinion.
And that's about it.
I even meant like on the lower level. Like
Yeah.
I know we have public schools, but I believe we need to kind of revamp education as a whole.
Honestly,
So-
I think we need
I
to make
think
trade
second.
schools a lot cooler than everyone
Yes.
thinks they are. Everyone who I've ever learned who does a trade is the most down to earth and real person.
My friend Ryan has not gone to trade school yet, but he says that's his goal. He's never cared for he's never cared for K through 12, and he says that he has zero intention of going to college because he expects it to be more of that, which,
Mhm.
being in college for like 4 years, I can kind of see where he would not fit in
Yeah.
this branch of higher education. So yeah, the problem is it's like you said, it's not cool, it's not like
Mhm.
like you're not given like massive real praise or drive.
I don't know why there's such a stigma against going to a trade school. These people are these people are raking in the dough. They are doing what the American dream technically is. The American dream is literally like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. All of the clothes-based idioms about getting better. Most people who run a trade eventually wind up owning their own business, even if it's in like lawn care, which
Mhm.
eventually turns into what's the one that's
Uh-huh.
plumbers, the same thing. They like start off in their area. My grandfather was a master electrician. It's like
Yeah.
I physically have an into what level of everything that is involved. These people are pulling in $50,000 to $60,000 annual in roughly the same amount of time, and they have the ability to start fresh out of high school, or even sometimes in high school. I was doing lathe and fabrication work, like metal work and woodworking, in high school.
Mhm.
But it's not as glamorous as running it up in the top just because you come home a little greasy under the fingernails.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think and like this isn't a continuation off of Rate My Professor. This is more of a genuine thing. Like people who have literal sellable skills are the ones who succeed in life.
Yeah.
And there are schools that just give you sellable skills.
Mhm.
So how is that not something that more people are okay with their children taking
I think it's
up?
because a lot of people like in academia are pushing a sort of like subconscious narrative
Mhm.
that college is the way to go, because let's say everyone kind of comes to the realization that trade schools are a lot better than college. I don't know if they are or not. I haven't been to a trade school. I don't know. Theoretically speaking, though, that would put a lot of them out of their jobs.
Mm. It's not that they're a better option. It's that they shouldn't be looked down as a worse option.
It's just
They are
another
They are
option.
just a
Yes.
different option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you would go into a trade school, you still might have to go into business management school to get an associate's or even a bachelor's to run your own business later on.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden you work a job that is able to be either contract labor, part-time, or full-time, grow a clientele base, and then you are able to then go and pay for your own education off of something that you took 2 to 3 years in, or like at a later part in your life, you still get the college degree later on. Like the ability to just acquire independence and wealth off of a lot less risky plan. And that all sort of comes back to my personal views on like on loans. I don't think anyone here is on loans.
No.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Cole?
No.
Sorry.
Well,
But you feel that constant anxiety every day of seeing
Yeah.
that number, that just
Oh.
dead weight.
for sure. Like as soon as I get a salary job, like I gotta pay it back.
What are you thinking? 30 to 20% of your salary is just dead to that,
Yeah.
and then however long that takes, like
Mhm.
5 to 6 year plan of removal.
But going back, like
Go ahead.
not talking about loans, but going back to just this need for a generation to go to college, I think it goes back to like our parents and stuff, how we
Mhm.
were raised. Because like you said, you have a family
Yeah.
that is kind of based in trade,
Mhm.
right? And I have a family, and people like me just grow up. That's college is the only way in a parent's mind to say my kid is for sure going to be okay, even though as we see now in college there are so many other ways to create a good life, and it's not all about being financially stable, it's also about being happy with what you're doing.
I will say though, one of the things that I have been noticing is a lot of the Gen Z millennial youth, a lot of the ones who have not yet been to college, are kind of opening their eyes to the fact that, hey, maybe college isn't worth the amount of skill I'm going to be, like the amount of monetary loss I'm going to be gaining from it.
Mhm.
A lot of them are seeing it as, well, I'm paying this amount of money for, unless I'm doing like a STEM degree,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
There are still the
Yeah.
few who are like just empirical money makers.
That's true.
The nursing, any sort
Yeah.
of nursing program, any sort of STEM field.
yeah.
These like scientifically inclined things, or
Mhm.
anything that's going to get you the networking, because
Mhm.
that's why a lot, like there's a secondary level to college which is networking,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because like if we were to do all of these classes online, you lose the concept of working with someone in class. I've met a lot of very interesting people just by sitting down next to someone in class.
That's true.
And that's one of the secondary opportunities that most people have told you of, like, I went to college, I met this buddy, he owns a pressure washer company, now we're both making 30K on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like we work twice a day every week, and we're coming in with a full-time income.
It is,
And it's
however,
like,
a problem.
You
is
meet
that,
these
like,
through people.
Yeah, like that. Like networking is really good, but the problem is you really
Texas
have.
A&M, that's the whole idea of the ring.
Mhm.
That's
One-
their big thing.
One of the things, however, with like networking
Mm.
as like a concept, is that it's very beneficial to those who are very extroverted. I
Mm.
have friends who are I'm personally a very introverted person, so if I want to network, I have to force myself to.
This is true.
So oftentimes I don't. I have friends who are very extroverted, and networking is incredibly easy for them because they enjoy meeting new people.
Yeah,
You know, for me,
love it. Hello.
for me, I don't like meeting new people. Like
Mhm.
it's stressful to me. So, like trying to force myself to network and talk to people and be buddies with people who I have like next to no interest in, because I
Mhm.
know like I
Em-
could.
Empirically, there's no immediate value for you.
Yeah, you know, and even then, it's like, to me, it's like me making connections with people
Mm.
is something I don't do for a monetary gain. I
Mhm.
understand that's part of the strategy. That's just
Yeah, it's about like what we've made. Honestly, what we've made society to be is very not neurodivergent, meaning like very ableist and very okay. Everyone thinks this one way, so this is how the best way is to get a job
A
or
generalist idea.
yes. And like Jake was saying about kind of going back to attendance, there are people who learn a different way. There's people who communicate a different way, and those who think it's against the norm are just going to say, oh, that person's weird, we're not going to hire them.
In
We just
my
have to think
opinion,
differently.
I believe that, you know, when you're kind of in high school and everything and you're thinking about what you want to do,
Hmm.
you set your dream and your goals, and then whatever that is, look at what's the fastest and best way that I can
Mhm.
get there. If it's college, cool. If it's
Mhm.
not, cool. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
because everybody's different, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Like, as a music business person, it's very important that I do make connections, because there's a lot
Mhm.
I can't do on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of like music theory and ear training and stuff that I need. So while I could probably make a decent career like playing my instrument, writing stuff
Yeah.
based on my knowledge from high school, if I went to college, I have so many more other opportunities.
You
So
never
that's
would have had
just-
someone offer to teach you acoustic guitar.
This is true. I would have never known. So it's just all tailored to what you need and what you want in life.
Exactly.
Tailored.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's my 2 cents.
So, Tarleton is kind of all right, is what we've learned.
Good, all right.
It does have some deep set traditions, and there's a student base that really enjoys the school.
It is 100% not in real life, though. And we'll get into that after
don't
the show.
understand.
Small town.
Oh.
It's worse than that, though. I've lived in small towns before. This is weird.
Nightvale.
Huh.
Yes.
No idea what you're talking about.
I'll
I just
get
don't
into it.
understand. It's okay.
This town, there's either like an ancient
What is
deity
in,
who
what
lives
is
under the
in real
ground.
life?
Well, if there is an ancient deity, I
I'm
hope
gonna-
he comes real soon and makes himself known, because
Oh,
this place is
jeez.
boring.
I do love the traditions that Tarleton has.
For
I
sure.
don't. I'm,
Yeah.
not, I'm not a fan of traditions.
Oh, well,
Listeners,
I like them.
viewers, we come to the close on this here episode. If you showed up late or wish to revisit us, you can find this show on your YouTube channel. Go ahead, Taylor. Take it away. Tarleton Radio Network as a video, or listen in on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts. For updates about the show or other interesting things that we make here at the station, follow us on all of the links provided in the bottom
Oh my god.
of the episode. This has been your episode of Cruisin the Planet. Thank you very much, all of you co-hosts, guests, dancers, and entertainment. Please recommend us to your friend. Show us your favorite bit out of this. And don't forget, next week we have more about Instagram. The website will be updated later today.
Yay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye,
for coming on.
everyone.
It was an episode.